Hello and welcome back to Heart and Soul's Yoga Life channel. My name is Henrike Schreer, and today I want to explore with you how to build confidence. Now, I work in my practice as a coach and as a mentor a lot with both entrepreneurs, some of them experienced, some of them new on that entrepreneurial journey, and with plenty of new life coaches who are in training and who are looking to improve their skills. And one thing that a lot of people in general have in common is that they are stuck on a negative spiral because they aren't yet confident in what they are doing, and they're kind of self-doubting and wondering, am I good enough? Then they overthink, then they are overwhelmed. Because of all that thinking going on, they don't take action. And because they don't take action, then they have an increasing anxiety, increasing fear, and more self-doubt. And then some of them eventually quit. Ever been there? I can definitely relate in my own life. And what a tough gig it is to build confidence in something when you're so new at it and you don't have a lot of evidence in your life that whatever you're trying, whatever you're doing is going to work out. Ideally, confidence comes from experience, right? I've been driving cars for, 23 years. I'm a confident driver by now. I learned English in year 5 at school, and I've lived in Australia for 11 years. I'm confidently speaking English, and so on it goes. I've coached for 10 years, so I'm confident at what I'm doing. However, how can you come to a point that you feel confidence and you can basically stand on firm ground before you have all that evidence? So let's look at it. The problem is that most people are playing it safe. And when you play itself and kind of over prepare, but then don't take action, you never produce any results, good or bad. And then you don't have anything to go off of and learn. Ideally, you obviously want to learn from experience. If you don't create experiences, even the uncomfortable ones, there is no learning. There's this beautiful term that's called failing forwards. So in creating a learning experience, even if it goes wrong, even if you fall on your nose, you will then gain something from that and be able to implement and get better at it. However, a lot of people are avoiding that kind of pain, that kind of discomfort, and then nothing really happens. So confidence comes from taking inspired action, just being willing to put yourself out there, even if you don't have all your ducks lined up, then gaining experience, positive or negative, from that, make the corrections that you need to make, and then over time, over and over, create results and then improve upon those results. That's the way to do it. So what is it that you need to tap into within yourself, mindset-wise, to be able to get there, to be able to go from action to experience to corrections as needed and producing consistent results? The first thing I would strongly recommend is develop a really strong positive attitude towards feedback. A lot of people are incredibly terrified of being criticized or being told that they're not good enough, etc. And they have developed all these stories. For some of us, they come out of childhood, out of experience with early teachers we had, or just of being constantly kind of shepherded and kept safe from negative experience and failure. So we haven't developed a healthy relationship to getting it wrong and being able to correct without that being a big deal. So what you want to do is you want to actually become incredibly curious about generating feedback. So you don't basically go out taking action necessarily to get it right, but to generate opportunities for feedback. So if you're a coach someone, ask them afterwards what they got out of it in the positive and also what else they felt they needed. If you are creating a product, deliver whatever the minimum viable option of that is to a bunch of people and then get their feedback. Did it serve them? Sometimes the product is fantastic, but the target group isn't right. So it's not always also that you got it entirely wrong. But by creating samples of feedback and samples of experience points, you are then able to tweak the whole system until it sits right. And then you can replicate it and start becoming more successful. Become curious in order to take that feedback and tap into humility. You are not meant to be perfect at what you are doing just yet. If you remember examples in your own life when you were first starting to learn how to drive, I remember my driving lessons were a nightmare. I was terrified in the car, and it was certainly nothing very, very elegant or very positive. And yet somehow I did survive over time and made it to become a comfortable driver today. Same thing with learning any new language, especially when you go to a new country and you kind of speak the language but kind of don't. That ability to speak and talk to people and try it out first, and sometimes they make a weird face and you realize you said something that was definitely not what you were trying to say. It might have been something really embarrassing. And then having a giggle about it and getting over it and trying again. Often that brings you closer to people. What else? Like, there's so many examples of us doing things and having to go through those motions of trying and failing and trying to failing so many times until bit by bit by bit you're putting together those building blocks of experience that are then forming almost a catalog of experience and clarity that allows you to confidently stand where you're at right now. The next point is being willing to take action whilst you are imperfect. So partially that relates to the feedback, but partially that relates to just being willing to do it. Like I said, with the driving, with the languages, with yoga. If you are doing yoga, and in the beginning, the postures definitely don't look elegant, but you learn over time. So whatever is the smallest thing you can deliver, you can give, you can build, if it's in a context of business anyway, or if it's in a context of coaching, or really any area, whatever is the smallest unit you can deliver, maybe a 5-minute talk on a camera. And then once 5 minutes feel okay, you can add another 2-minute segment and another 3-minute segment, and all of them together, maybe if you've done it a few times, will then create a 10-minute talk. So what are the smallest possible units you can put together and do over and over and over again until those together can form a whole that you can push out and deliver. So action with imperfection, and becoming really willing to do that and relaxed about that. The next thing is patience. And this is something I think where most of you who are watching this will find yourself as well. The patience to allow time to develop. Sometimes, especially with new coaches, I see folks who have just been learning this content for 2 months, 3 months, maybe 6 months, and they are so new. They are learning so much. They are taking all these actions, studying, applying it with pro bono clients, applying it in mentor sessions, building a business on the side, etc. And often they come to me and are so frustrated with themselves because they haven't achieved X, Y, Z yet. And I'm just wondering, what are you expecting of yourself so incredibly early on in that journey? Be patient with yourself and allow the time for things to unfold. That's a healthy, normal thing. We often tend to overestimate what we can achieve in a very short amount of time. That's where you might be stuck. However, we often underestimate what we can achieve with small actions applied consistently over a longer period of time. And this is where the real magic lies. It's that consistency. And it doesn't mean you have to put in 4 or 5 hours every day and all of your weekends, etc. It's about finding the sweet spot where you can be sustainable and consistent. Maybe 1 hour each day, maybe 2 hours each day, maybe 5 hours spread across every week. Whatever is doable and what you can sustain, so that by doing it over and over and over again, you can collect all these small building blocks and put it all together. It's like one of those Lego castles that my son used to have when he was little. That doesn't happen in a heartbeat, but by sticking the next block onto the right spot and then the next one, sometimes finding, oh, that wasn't quite right, pulling them back off, starting over. Eventually that whole castle is built. The problem is that a lot of people get so frustrated with themselves or start into this negative self-talk spiral about not being good enough or never really getting there, or maybe it's not even meant to be, whatever that means, that they quit prematurely. And really with most of those things, by doing it long enough, often enough, and sticking with it, you learn. I don't know if you remember learning riding your bike. I remember that, and it was so frustrating that it wasn't working and somebody had to hold me and I would like wobble and then fall over. Same, remember when my son was learning swimming. It's just so frustrating when you know what it should look like and you can't do it. And yet the only way through is by sticking with it over and over and over and over again. And then at some point suddenly it works. And it's the same principle with all of those skills. Have the clarity where you want to be skills-wise and really stick to that vision of you being that person until you achieve that. Take that inspired action, and by failing over and over, getting feedback, doing it better, trying it again, you will eventually get there if you stick with it long enough. Confidence is something that is earned. Like a lot of people will come and say, help me feel more confident about myself. And it really depends on which area. I would say, and you might or might not agree with me there, that as a practitioner of anything, whether that's coaching or a massage practitioner or anything, I would like as a patient or as a client that that person is confident once they're actually good at doing it. And that up until then they are practicing, they are trying, they're doing the best they can, but they don't have premature confidence. Imagine I could, as a hypnotherapist, just make you feel you're just confident about anything. That's actually really risky. Imagine you're going out confidently flying a plane if you've only had 5 flying lessons. Or if my son was starting to confidently drive 15, 20 hours into his L plates. Having immature or artificial confidence isn't necessarily a healthy thing. However, what if you could find things within yourself that you already have to stand on firmly and be confident about whilst you are building the confidence around your specialty? What would it be that you could be hands down confident about? I'll share a few thoughts with you, what I'm confident about and what I was confident about when I started that might serve you. Number 1 is past relevant experience. So for a coach, for example, having gone through the ups and downs of our own life, having gone through a divorce in my case, having worked for a tech startup in my case, enables me to see certain things when it comes to flow, when it comes to efficiency, etc. Having moved countries definitely gives me relevant past experience when it comes to helping people get through change. So what's the relevant past experience that you have that isn't that skill set where you are building confidence, but is related to it and might be helpful in that regard? The next thing is willingness to work it out. Who says that you always have to have all the answers in a session, that you always have to have the answers right off the cuff? It's perfectly acceptable and fine to go, look, I actually know something about this and I have some material about this. Let me get back to you with the specifics. I'll look it up for you after our session and I'll email it to you within the next 48 hours. That's a perfectly acceptable thing to do. And you can do that in a service business, in a business where you are selling things. That's perfectly fine. You don't have to have everything right here and right now. Similarly, your ability to access experts, expert feedback and information. If you don't have it right now, you can get back to your mentor, you can get back to your institute, you can get back to, for example, people who have built items that you are selling. Who's to say that you have to have all the answers? But you can find them. Another one that I find really important is character and integrity. I know I can trust myself, that I have a good character and that I have full integrity, that I won't sell something I can't deliver and that I won't overpromise. And similarly, if you look within, there will be characteristics about you that you can be incredibly confident that you can stand on. What is it within you? Who are you that you can confidently show up and deliver from that position? And lastly, reference points in your life. So one of them is past experience, but other reference points of having gone through difficult stuff and come out on the other side. Reference points of, for example, having tremendously failed at something and come back out on the other side and having learned from it. Sometimes I hear people about in the coaching framework, for example, who have had other businesses, have failed at them, and now are sometimes like a little bit queasy about selling themselves as the coach. I can tell you from stuff that I failed at in the past, some of the most valuable lessons I've learned in my life have come from those failures, have come from when stuff went wrong, because I then had to learn the lessons, build the resilience, come back from it, develop that humility, etc., etc. There's so much benefit in failure and coming out of it on the other side. That's life experience, and that in and of itself is an incredible gift. So look behind the curtains of who you are, in basically where those building blocks are and those things that provide firm ground for you to stand on, even while you're building specific skill sets and building almost the confidence, earning the confidence in those specific skill sets. There's a beautiful quote I want to end on by a gentleman called Dale Carnegie. I think a lot of you will have heard from him. He says, if you want to conquer fear, don't sit at home and think about it. Go out and get busy. So in that spirit, I hope you're going to feel inspired to go out, get busy, and just do all the scary stuff and prove to yourself by taking those small incremental steps and trying the small scary things over and over again. Over time, you're building almost like an encyclopedia of experience that allows you to feel confident. As always, I would love your feedback, your comments, your thoughts, your examples, how confidence has played out in your own life, down in the comment section. And as always, if you like our content, please feel free to follow our channel and to hit that bell button so that you will be notified when we are putting out our next piece of content. Thank you so much for being here, and see you again soon.